What's up, everybody? My name is Kason. Welcome in to the PUDL, Pokemon Ultra Draft League Master Ball Division. I am Kason, your coach of the Oregon Golducks, and this is going to be my first video of an actual battle in a Pokemon Draft League. This is my first time ever joining a Pokemon Draft League. If you haven't watched it already, I released about a 20-minute video talking about it a little bit, breaking down the roster of who we have on the team and all that good stuff, and I highly encourage you to go check it out if you haven't already done so. Taking a look at the record, our team is currently 2-2 at a -4 Pokemon plus or minus differential. We actually took this team over after it was already 1 win and 2 losses, so we've only done 1 battle. I did not upload it, but we ended up winning that battle with a +4 differential. So really excited about that. First ever battle in a draft league, and ended up picking up a pretty decisive win, which was really awesome. This week, though, we've got our work cut out for us going up against Coach Filmup, coach of the Empoleon Emperors. We're currently sitting at a 1-3 record, but just picked up, I think, their first win last week. So riding a little bit of a hot streak here. Hopefully I can stop that hot streak, but we'll have to see how it goes. So taking a look at the rosters here, I just want to say, normally I will have this as a much more beautiful graphic, but this is all I could do in the meantime. I was on vacation in Florida all last week and didn't have enough time to set this up. So you can expect this to be even better next week for next week's video. That being said, I want to mention real quick with my roster, I did a number of transactions of like adding and dropping, and I did a roster video breakdown for that. I don't technically have access to every Pokemon on this list for this week's battle. For week 6 and forward, I will, and that will be the roster going forward. But a couple of these Pokemon, Hawlucha and Iron Crown, were not on the roster for this week 5 battle. So if you see that I do not bring them, I didn't even have the opportunity to bring them. I couldn't bring them if I wanted to. I had some other options that were on the team, but ultimately, to not have any sort of confusion with the viewers who watched my roster video, I decided that I didn't want to bring those Pokemon who still were on the roster. So I actually put myself at a little bit of a handicap this week in terms of who I could bring. So I basically have 8 eligible Pokemon, but I'll go over it in a little bit who I decided to bring. But these are the matchups, guys. In terms of the Empoleon Emperors, who I expect him to bring, I certainly expect Tornadus. I think I probably expect Latias. I think there's a decent chance he leaves Heatran at home just because I have a lot of water threats that could potentially give Heatran problems in the rain. I think Grimmsnarl is a beast. I think Grimmsnarl probably comes. I expect Sceptile. And I expect Terrakion. Those are probably the 5 that I expect. Aside from that, I could see any of Sandslash, Lantern, Dunsparce, or Swanna coming as well, but I think those are the 5 I anticipate. We'll have to see if I guessed right. And let's go ahead and break down the Pokemon that I decided to bring to this week's fight. Taking a look at the roster for our Week 5 matchup versus the Empoleon Emperors, coached by Filmup, this is the roster we are bringing to the table. The first Pokemon we have is Maverick, our Greninja. He is holding the Choice Band item, which means his attack stat, or physical attack stat, is 1.5 times more than what it normally would be. In return, we can only use 1 move every time we switch in. So if we use the move Liquidation, we can only use Liquidation until we switch out. Some synergy with this, though, is the ability Protean that we are using, and this essentially makes it so that Greninja turns into the type of attack that it first uses every time that it switches in. This means that Choice Band amplifies the damage of each one of these moves that we can use, while Protean also enhances the damage of the moves that are not named Liquidation, because we essentially would become a poison type if we use Gunk Shot, a bug type if we use U-Turn, and normal if we used Retaliate, which obviously the same type attack bonus boosts the damage that we can do. So these are the 4 moves that we are looking at. Liquidation, 85 power, 100 accuracy, water move, just really good coverage against Filmup's team. Retaliate is essentially going to be used to revenge kill something, so if Filmup is able to kill one of my Pokemon, Greninja can easily come in and use Retaliate against it. Retaliate says 70 base power, but essentially what happens is if one of your Pokemon was killed the turn before, this actually becomes 140 base power. He does not have a ton of normal resistances on his team. He has things like Heatran and I think Terrakion, but other than that, none of his Pokemon resist normal. So this actually can hit really hard if we turn into the normal type with Protean and hit it with a Choice Band Retaliate. This can really smack something really hard. U-Turn is also really fantastic for pivoting options, as it is a 70 base bug type attack. We will turn into a bug type. Choice Band amplifies the damage, and this is really useful with Choice Band because we aren't going to be locked into U-Turn next time we come back into the fight, and it's going to switch us out anyway. Under this setup, with the investment that we have, Greninja should be faster than anything on Film Up's team unless it is Choice Scarfed or receives some sort of speed boost. And Gunk Shot is the only non 100% accuracy move that we are riding with, but it is 120 base power. I'm bringing this specifically for Sceptile, as if he does bring Sceptile, which is one of his Tera captains, which I do expect, Gunk Shot will hit neutral damage versus any of the Tera types he brings. So it should hit him hard regardless. And over to the right here, you can see the stat distribution that we've got 252 speed investment, 252 attack investment, basically just the fastest and hardest hitting Greninja that we can come up with here. Next up is MRDC RR Chaladon, and we are running a little bit of a strange set this week. We are running the held item Scope Lens, which Scope Lens essentially just enhances your critical hit ratio by 1 stage. Critical hit ratios are really complex in Pokemon, but the biggest thing you really need to know is if you get to critical hit ratio +3, it is a guaranteed crit. This is really important because Scope Lens increases our ratio to +1, and one of the moves that we are bringing this week is Focus Energy, which essentially raises our critical stage by +2. So with the Focus Lens item and using Focus Energy, if we get this off, we are guaranteed to crit with every attack that we use. This is really useful because one thing that people don't know about in Pokemon is that even if your stats are lowered, critical hits ignore the stat lowering of your Pokemon. So using something like this, which is Draco Meteor, which is a very powerful special attack for our Chaladon, 130 base power, because this move is so strong, it lowers its special attack stat by 2 stages after using it. Well, if we have Focus Energy already up in our Focus Lens, it doesn't matter. We can lower our special attack stat to the very basement, but we're still going to be hitting a critical hit Draco Meteor as if we didn't have any stat drops. So this is some really good synergy with these two abilities. And really there's only 2 Pokemon on his team that can basically resist a Draco Meteor pretty well. Heatran is one of them, and the other one is Grimmsnarl. And if that does happen, we can body press it for neutral damage. If Grimmsnarl does hit us, we're going to just gain some defensive boost, so that's essentially here for coverage. We also have Stealth Rock to try and set up some hazards against the enemy team. This will hurt any Pokemon that ends up switching into it, taking Stealth Rock damage, so basically just a good way to whittle down the enemy team while we have this. For our ability, we are running Stamina. This is the ability that essentially increases our defense every single time that our Chaladons hit. We are running a Modest Nature, which means we are fully invested in special attack. We also have basically full investment in special defense. So this is trying to resist damages from different types of Pokemon. This could be from Tornadus. This could be from Swanna. This could be from Latias specifically. So any one of those hitting our Pokemon, we should soak it up actually quite well. And looking forward to this set. Next Pokemon we're bringing is numero 80, our Indeedee, and she is holding the held item Light Clay. And essentially what Light Clay does is it makes it so that when you use moves like Reflect or Light Screen, instead of these happening for 5 turns, they happen for 8 turns. And Reflect and Light Screen mitigate damage by 50% for either physical or magical or special rather damage. So this can be really, really useful. So Indeedee is going to be a fantastic supportive option to try and mitigate the damage coming up from the other team. She's able to set Psychic Terrain with her Psychic Surge ability, and this Psychic attack will deal even more damage because the terrain is out. So she only has 1 attacking move in this set, but it should actually hit decently hard. And she is also rocking Healing Wish. So we are not using Baton Pass. We don't have 2 different methods of switching out to a different Pokemon, but if Indeedee does get low, or if we have another Pokemon who is statused and we need to bring back to full health, we can use Healing Wish to try and bring them back safely. Looking at the status distribution, we are running a Modest Nature, full special attack investment, and full HP investment. So this Indeedee is not very fast, but it's decently bulky, and it actually will hit really hard if it hits something with Psychic. My general plan is to try and bring Indeedee as a counter to the Grimmsnarl on the other team, as Grimmsnarl does get the ability Prankster, which means that any of its status moves, such as, let's say, Thunder Wave or Reflect or Trick or anything like that, those are all enhanced priority, which means that they happen before the normal priority for moves and stuff like that. Psychic Surge will deny him the ability to use things against our team, such as Thunder Wave, Taunt, stuff like that. He can still get up screens, but it will stop him from doing things like that, which I think can be really, really useful, especially for this Pokemon, Turambar, our Ceruledge, who is currently rocking the Focus Sash as his held item. This will make it basically so that he cannot die in 1 hit. He will always live with 1 HP if he was full health when he was hit. And that is important to know that the Focus Sash only works if he was full HP before that happens. So if he's at 5 HP or something and gets hit, the Focus Sash will not matter. But it can be really, really useful paired with the ability Weak Armor. So essentially, if we get hit by a physical attack, which Film Up does have quite a few physical attackers on his team, this will lower our defense stat, but it'll double our speed stat. So we will be faster than anything on his team aside from an unburdened Sceptile, which would be pretty crazy. So taking a look at the moves, we've got Poltergeist, 110 base power, 90 accuracy. This only works if the enemy is holding an item, but almost everybody holds items, so I think that's a pretty safe bet to make. Bitter Blade, 90 power, 100 accuracy. This is the classic move for Ceruledge. It's a fire type attack. It heals him up after he deals damage. Close Combat is here for coverage. This is especially for Pokemon like Heatran, or the Terrakion, stuff like that. Fighting type damage allows me to hit really, really hard, and 120 base power should hit quite hard. Swords Dance is here to boost up the attack stat by 2 stages, so ideally the option is we get Indeedee in, we get Psychic Terrain up, we switch Ceruledge in at some point so that he cannot deny Ceruledge with Grimmsnarl, with either like Sucker Punch or Thunder Wave or something like that to stop him. He should be the fastest thing on the field. He has full speed and attack investment essentially here, and he should hit like a truck. So that's kind of the play here. We want to try and get Ceruledge in at full HP. So if he sets up something like Stealth Rock or Hazards, that's really trouble for Ceruledge. So we want to try and get Indeedee in with the Psychic Terrain and get him in at full HP is the goal. Next up is 25th BAM, our Ogerpon Cornerstone, and obviously your held item is the Cornerstone Mask. That is the only item we can hold with this Pokemon. Full speed and attack investment, so no bulk at all. This is essentially just here to hit something really damn hard when it comes in. It does have U-turn for pivot. This should be faster than almost his entire team, aside from, I believe, Tornadus and Sceptile. I think he's faster than anything else on the other side, unless they are Choice Scarfed, which would boost that Pokemon's speed. And basically with Ivy Cudgel, it shows it as a grass type, but that's not actually true. Because of our item, this is going to become a rock type attack. Brick Break is here to break screens from the Grimmsnarl if they set them up, as well as deal damage to something like the Terrakion, who would resist our rock type attack, and Heatran. And you can see a common theme with these two Pokemon resisting certain types. So this is here to kind of break those Pokemon. U-turn is obviously here for pivot. So if we don't like a matchup, or if we want to try and just get some chip down and switch into something else, we can do so. And Spikes is here to set up damage basically on the ground, that if he switches something in, they will take extra damage each time that a Pokemon switches in. Our ability is Sturdy, so we will always live one hit no matter what, very similar to the Focus Sash on Ceruledge, as long as we started the fight there at full HP. And last but not least is our Tera Captain for this week. It is Ram9, our Glastrier, rocking the electric Tera type, and also holding the item Chesto Berry. So this is an interesting set. We are running Avalanche, Tera Blast, Rest, and Swords Dance. And the ability, Chilling Neigh, is the only ability it gets, but essentially it allows it to ramp up after killing something. So after it kills a Pokemon, it gains a +1 to its attack stat boost. And you're going to notice the stat distribution on the right side here. We've got a decent amount of investment in attack, good amount into special defense, and max HP. So this is not as physically offensive as we could get. We are trying to resist a lot of those special attacks and make them really bulky against that. And in terms of the moves, we are using Avalanche. So this is a 60 base power ice attack, which obviously we get the same type of attack bonus for. But we are kind of playing into the fact that this Glastrier is very, very slow. His base speed should make him the slowest Pokemon in this fight. Avalanche becomes 120 base power instead of 60 if the Pokemon hits us first. So if somebody deals damage to us, not the worst thing in the world, because we're going to be hitting really damn hard with Avalanche then. Tera Blast is normally a normal type attack, but once you Terastalize into a certain type, Tera Blast becomes that type. It also becomes a physical attack because our physical attack is higher. So this gives us what people affectionately refer to as Bolt Beam coverage, which just essentially means ice and electric type attacks. These two types are basically, if you have both of them at your disposal, you have something that just like won't be resisted by pretty much any Pokemon out there. They just give you incredibly good offensive coverage with just these two moves, which allow us to run the move Rest, which Rest will fully heal our Pokemon from any statuses, fully heal them full HP, but it'll put us to sleep for 2 turns. And this is where the Chesto Berry comes in, because the item that we are using right now, Chesto Berry, if this Pokemon falls asleep, it will immediately wake up, which obviously you can see the synergy here. If we get low, we use Rest, we heal ourselves to full, we wake up, and now it's like we have a brand new health bar. Rocking Swords Dance as well to increase that attack stat. I very much thought about running Sleep Talk here, which essentially, if I click Sleep Talk while we are asleep, it allows us to pick a random move. We don't get to pick, but it'll choose one of these other 3 moves while we are asleep. That is normally better if I'm trying to keep this thing out for a really long time and have it fight while it's asleep. But I think there's a chance with a Sword Stance, we are able to just do this on turn 1 and basically just start one-shotting things. So that is what we ultimately decided to go with. So I'm excited about this fight, you guys. I hope you are too, and let's jump into the battle. All right, guys, so we're about to head into the battle here. We've got our team all ready to go. Let's take a look to see who Film Up ends up bringing. So he brings the Grimmsnarl, Lantern, Swanna, Terrakion, Tornadus, and Sandslash. I'm not shocked that he didn't bring Heatran. I am a little bit surprised he didn't bring Sceptile just because we have a lot of water on our team, but I'm perfectly okay with the fact that he didn't bring that because he can be quite fast. So our Greninja with Choice Band seems like a decent lead right now. Unless he brings something that's Choice Scarf, we are going to outspeed anything in this game. So I think by leading Maverick, it's a decent lead. We can always U-turn out if we don't have a great matchup. So it's kind of the way I'm leaning. So I'm going to do that. To get, it doesn't really matter what order I go here, so I'm just going to go all the way down. And yeah, I think we feel pretty decent about this matchup. So he has setup with like Stealth Rock and Rapid Spin, spikes, all that stuff with Sand Slash. So I think that's probably what he's using it for. Grimmsnarl, I want to try and get rid of if possible. That is something that I was a bit concerned about in matchup preview. That is why I brought the numero 80 in DD though. Is their Psychic Terrain can kind of get rid of that, or at least do well into that. So yeah, we'll see how this goes, guys. So we're 1-0 so far in battles that we've done in this league. This is our second battle, and hopefully this one goes as well for us as the last one did. But there we are. I forgot to mention, I had to battle this on my second account. We had some issues with forwarding a fight, so I don't have my actual trainer card here. But that's okay. So he sends out Tornadus. So I'm going to go Maverick here. My first thought is probably just go U-turn. Yeah, I think I just want to U-turn here. I could go for something like a Liquidation. I think I'm just going to U-turn though, because even if this does, so this probably won't do a lot of damage to it, but if he switches, this gives me a shitload of momentum. I should be faster. I don't anticipate him going Scarf here. So he withdraws, so this is perfect. So somebody is going to eat a Protean Choice Banded U-turn, which is going to do a lot of damage. It is the Lantern, which makes sense. Lantern's good into Greninja. But this is where that Protean kicks in. We turn into the Bug type. Choice Band comes through. That does a shitload of damage. And we are off to a flying start. But now I'm trying to think of who I want to go into here. So I could go Bam. He's good against the electric types, but water would be neutral. I think MRDC feels like a decent play here. I could go in. I could set up Stealth Rocks. I don't think Lantern can really threaten this. So I think I go MRDC here. He shouldn't be able to do a ton of damage to me. I could either go for a Stealth Rock. I could go for Focus Energy, depending on what he does. He's actually leftovers, interestingly. So this is supposed to be a somewhat bulky Lantern. I'm pretty happy with the U-turn damage we did to it, considering. But what do I want to go for? So I feel like getting a Stealth Rock up here is probably the best decision, as he switches. So these are just free rocks. Unless he's going into Sand Slash, which he's not. Tornadus does not get Defog anymore, which means he cannot get rid of these Stealth Rocks. The damage won't hit him. But for anybody who doesn't know, Stealth Rock sitting on the field, essentially every Pokemon that switches in now will take a chunk of their damage just for switching in. I think I go for a Focus Energy here. I don't know why he goes Tornadus. I don't know what he could threaten me with. If he goes like Hurricane or something, I'm going to eat that up. Do I want a Draco Meteor or do I want a Focus Energy? Draco Meteor is probably the safer play, but I kind of feel like going Focus Energy here because I don't think he can threaten my Archaludon. He gets... Oh, shit. He gets Focus Blast. I should have looked this up. That is a ton of damage. That is not good. That is not good because he outspeeds us. He did way more damage than I anticipated. We might have to sack this thing off. That is really unfortunate. I did not want to have to do this early. I don't know what else I can do, though. I could switch. I mean, I don't have anything that could eat this. So I feel like the obvious thing is I could switch into Turambar to eat this Focus Blast and it'll do 0 damage, but I don't think he's going to go that. I think he's just going to Hurricane. Because Hurricane should do probably about this much health. I am actually quite specially bulky on this set, so there's a chance that Hurricane doesn't kill from this range. I think I just Draco Meteor, and if I die, I die. He goes for Hurricane. Do I live it? It's going to be close. We do not. That's unfortunate. All right, so... Okay, we do get crit. I don't know if that mattered or not. That honestly was probably very close to whether that kills us or not, because we have a ton of special bulk. Now I'm trying to think of who I want to go into. So we're a man down, but we do have our Stealth Rocks up. I could go into Maverick to get a ton of damage off, but... I'm trying to think of what... I think I just go Bam here. Bam will definitely one-shot this thing. If I get an Ivy Cudgel off on this, it is dead. It can't one-shot me no matter what because I have Sturdy. I could U-turn for pivot, but I think I just Ivy Cudgel. Nothing on his team wants to take this, especially with Heatran not being in it. The only thing that can soak this really is Terrakion. And if he brings that in, he brings it in, but we'll see what he goes for. He might just go for another Focus Blast or Hurricane. He's already hit 2 really inaccurate moves against us, which is a bit unfortunate. Focus Blast and Hurricane are both 70% accurate moves, and he hit both of them on us already. He might just U-turn out, but he's not faster. So actually, U-turning out doesn't make much sense for him, because we are... I take that back. I think he is faster. Tornadus is really fast, yeah. Focus Blast should do a chunk. That's unfortunate. It's a lot of damage, but this Ivy Cudgel should kill no problem. So Tornadus is down. So just noting, Bam kills Tornadus here with the Ivy Cudgel. We are lower than I'd like to be. I'm curious if who he goes for. He goes Terrakion. So we outspeed this thing unless it's Choice Scarfed. The fact that he's bringing this in, we'll see. So if he's not Scarfed, I'm going to do a ton of damage here because I'm going to go... I think I just go Brick Break. If he's Scarfed, he's Scarfed. If he's Scarfed, then I lose Bam, but there's nothing that I want to switch into this no matter what anyway. I guess it's possible that he could just go for a fighting type move and I could switch in my Ceruledge, but I don't love that either. And he goes for Earthquake anyway, so that would have been really bad if I go for switch into Ceruledge. So Bam goes down. We're a man down, but we know he's Choice Scarfed because our Ogerpon would be faster than him if he's not. So he is locked into Earthquake right now. So now the question is, who do I want to take this Earthquake? So I could go into Numero. I could set up like a screen. Otherwise, I could go Turambar. I have Focus Sash, which means I will live no matter what. I kind of like the idea of going into Turambar here, actually. I think I want to go Turambar here. So this seems weird because he's Scarfed into an Earthquake. Do I want to make the call on Turambar right now? I think so. My original plan was to wait to go Turambar until after Indeedee sets up Psychic Terrain and sets up for him. But I think this is in a good position right now. He can't be sashed because he's already chipped. I just go Swords Dance for free here. He's locked into Earthquake. So he either Earthquakes me, which procs my weak armor, which makes me faster. I will get a free Swords Dance up no matter what. Or he switches out. And if he switches out, that's even better because that just means I get a free Swords Dance. He does switch. So this is great. So Turambar is going to be +2 attack with the Swords Dance. Still have my Focus Sash intact. He goes Grimmsnarl. This is probably the worst option that he could go for me. But I think a Bitter Blade at +2 should kill. He could go for something. He could go for Thunder Wave. He could go for Screens or something. He actually goes for Trick. What is he tricking into me, though? So Trick switches our items. What do I have? Utility Umbrella. That is it. Wow, that is an interesting tech. That sucks we lose our Focus Sash, actually, but this Bitter Blade should kill. It does. Grimmsnarl is a huge threat. That's actually huge to get rid of him. This does suck, though, that our Focus Sash is gone and our weak armor's not been procced, because this means if Terrakion comes in, I can't really do anything about it, because he's just going to one-shot me. So that is a bit unfortunate. That Trick was actually a really good play by him. The Utility Umbrella, all it does is basically mitigates weather effects. But I didn't bring Rain. I thought he might anticipate me bringing Rain. Swanna is faster than Ceruledge. I have to swap here. I don't think I live a Surf. I definitely don't live a Hydro Pump. He's already hit like 3 inaccurate moves on me. I don't really want to test my luck against another one. I feel like I just go Ram 9 here. Probably soaks the damage well. Although actually at the same time I could go Maverick soaks the damage well. I could set up screens. What do I do here? I just know I don't want Turambar in. I think I'd go Maverick. We'll see what he goes for here. I assume he's just going to go for a water attack, unless he calls the double and just switches out himself. If so, he does. He hits a Hydro Pump, 80% accurate move, so he is 4 for 4 on the inaccurate moves, and that did a lot of damage. Wow, that did so much damage. It did over half my health with a Hydro Pump. That is crazy. This thing is very, This thing's got to be very specially invested. I think I should be able to kill, though. Retaliate wouldn't do much. I think I go Gunk Shot. The only other play I think I can make is U-turn. I think I just go Gunk Shot here. Let's see if I can hit my 80% accurate move. He's 3 for 3 on 70s, 1 for 1 on 80. Let's see if I can hit my 80% accurate move. So Lantern is dead if this lands. Stones are going to dig in. Takes the chip damage. And we miss. Yep. Oh, no, that's Protean. Okay. I thought we missed for a second. We did miss. Perfect. Oh, man. All right, that's how it goes sometimes, guys. Unfortunately, he's 4 for 4 on it. I'm 0 for 1. It shouldn't really matter, though. I should be able to just Gunk Shot again. The only thing is, I think he knows I'm Choice Banded. If he switches into, like, a type that takes it, he does not switch, though. So we get another kill. So Greninja, Maverick kills Lantern. So I think we are at an even playing field right now. I think we're still 2-2. He brings in the Sand Slash, so my Gunk Shot will not do a ton of damage, and with Choice Band, I am locked into it. I cannot liquidate, and he knows that. So he could go for a Rapid Spin here. I could call that by going Turn Bar, but if he goes Earthquake and calls that, I think there's a good chance I just lose. So I feel like the safer option is going either Numero or Ram 9 here. I could just stay in and Gunk Shot. I could just try and deal damage. I think I want to go Numero, though. So I'm going to swap in. I'm going to try and get some screens up. We'll see what he goes for. I anticipate a Rapid Spin here because this would get rid of my Stealth Rock. Not that it's doing a ton of damage to his team, but it is mildly annoying for him, I'm sure. So we got the Psychic Terrain up. This is something that I wanted to do before I got Ceruledge on the field. Honestly, that would have been smarter because then I could have never been tricked by Grimmsnarl, but that's okay. We're playing in the moment. Can't think about what happened. So he's got lefties. He's going to heal basically to full. He does heal to full. And he actually didn't go Rapid Spin. He goes Stealth Rock of his own. So he's got set up now. So he's either going to go probably Rapid Spin or Spikes. I don't anticipate he's just going to go for damage on Indeedee. So I could just Psychic here to deal a bunch of damage. Otherwise, I could go Reflect. Now, I think I want to go Reflect here. Yeah, I think I want Reflect. So I'm thinking of the people in the back. He's still got Swanna. And he's got Terrakion. He's got 2 physical hitters and 1 special. So I think going Reflect here mitigates physical damage by 50%. I've got my Light Clay. This is like an 8-turn Reflect. This would be really useful. Rapid Spin does a little bit of damage. Doesn't really matter. Gives him the speed boost. I don't care too much about that. The problem that sucks is gets rid of my Stealth Rock. So that is a little bit annoying. Now, do I want to go Light Screen or do I want to Psychic for damage? I think I just want to hit this thing. It goes for Spikes, so it's just going for more and more setup. This is going to be a bit annoying. And I'm thinking right now, this Choice Scarf Terrakion could be a huge problem for me. Because it's going to one-shot most things I have on my team, and it's going to be faster than anything I have on my team. I don't have a way to get my weak armor up. I think I just Psychic again to get rid of this thing. I just need to put pressure on it. I can't let him just keep setting things up. In fact, he doesn't go for another layer of Spikes. He goes for an Earthquake. It's a good chunk of damage. Actually, we soak it up decently well. Psychic will take it out, so Numero 80, and Indeedee will claim a kill. So now we're at a 4v2 advantage. I feel decent. My one concern is the Terrakion. He is a bit of a problem. That Choice Scarf is a problem. I need to somehow lock him into a move that doesn't hit basically my entire team, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. I did not bring Pelipper this week, which means Earthquake hits my team really damn hard. That feels like a mistake. So I got to try and figure out how to get around that. Stone Edge also goes really hard. It hits super effective on Ceruledge. It hits super effective on my normal Glastrier. Now, do I go Light Screen here? I think so, because I don't think I can kill with a Psychic. This thing might just be able to kill me straight up here. It did a ton of damage to Greninja. I could Healing Wish into Maverick to heal him to full. But I'm not sure how much... Not sure how much it matters. This thing might just kill me here. I think I have to hope for a miss, but he's been really accurate so far. He goes for the Hydro Pump, does this kill. It lands. It does kill. I don't know if that was a roll or not. It's probably not. I don't know. I don't know Swanna well enough. I should have prepped for this Mon more. This did a ton of damage. Now up to we have a 3v2 advantage. How do we take this over? I think I have to go Ram 9 here. I think Ram 9 goes nuts into this thing. I don't think it does nearly enough damage. I don't know, man. This thing is hitting crazy hard. I don't know how it's hitting so damn hard, but it is. So we go Ram 9. And now this thing could Tera either Steel or Ground. So we have Tera Electric, which is really good into this Swanna. It's not as good into Terrakion. But I think I do this anyway. Because the only way that he kills me if I Tera Electric is he goes Tera Ground, Tera Blast. If he goes Tera Steel to try and super effective my Ice, I will resist the damage. And it looks like I'm going first, which means he's not Terroring at all. So I don't think there's anything he can do to one-shot me here. We have our Chesto Berry. We go rest. We'll heal back to full. And we'll be a fully healthy Glastrier against both Swanna and Terrakion. I think that's our best odds. 43 health we live on. Glastrier is a monster. Unfortunately, we couldn't get that light screen up in time, but we will heal to full. And now this turn is huge. I don't think they two-shot us. But if he Tera Grounds and I Tera Blast, this is trouble. Do I kill on Avalanche regardless? I don't know that Avalanche kills. It probably does. But I think I just Tera Blast. The only way this goes well if he Tera Grounds, he doesn't Tera at all. He just stays, which is perfect. So we're going to claim a kill here. And he is going to be down to 1 Pokemon. So he's going to be Choice Scarf Terrakion versus 3. The problem is I don't know if I have a good answer for it. I do still have Reflect up. I've got my +1 attack. I don't think I one-shot with Tera Blast, but I probably do a good chunk. How do I want to play this? He's probably going to go Earthquake. Because I'm Electric. Because I don't think Stone Edge kills. Man, I don't know what to do here. I don't know if I have an answer. This looks good because I'm 3v1, but I don't know if I have an answer to this. I think Earthquake probably kills Turambar after the Stealth Rock and Spike Chip. I could... Do I rest or Tera Blast? I think I just threw. I don't know why I just did that. Why did I just rest? That was a mistake. Wow, we soaked that damage so well. I think I just made a huge mistake. I should have Tera Blasted. We're at 113. I don't even think that did 113 damage. We could have got a Tera Blast off and maybe another one. I think I just threw by rest. I didn't look at... How many turns do I have of screens left? I didn't look. I should have checked that. This might... Oh, man. Earthquake does 103. That's good. We soaked this well. I didn't look at how much turns we have on Reflect, though. If our screens disappear, I might have... Yep. Oh, shoot. This feels like a rookie mistake. I think I just threw the game by resting instead of Tera Blasting. Yep, Earthquake just did 200. We're going to be asleep one more turn. I'm not going to get an attack off. That was such a huge mistake. I should have looked to see how many turns I had on Reflect. I think I just threw. Oh, man, that sucks. That really sucks. I think I had a chance if I just Tera Blasted instead of resting. Yeah, we're going to die to this Earthquake. He's locked into Earthquake. Maybe Turambar lives in Earthquake. I think he probably would at full health. Because it's not stab from the Terrakion, but with the chip damage from Stealth Rock and Spike, super effective Stealth Rock, I don't think we live this. I think our only chance is that we somehow... I mean, we have to somehow live an Earthquake on either Ceruledge or Greninja. Greninja... I don't see it. I don't think so. We're not bulk invested. Stones dig in, Spikes dig in. We're only at 65 health. We have to somehow pray that we live this Earthquake and Liquidation in return. I don't think there's any chance we live this. We just have to pray. 65 HP. Yeah, no. And now it's down to 1. Ceruledge is here. I'm almost certain we kill with a close combat if we're able to use it. But I don't think after the chip we live in Earthquake. It's going to be super effective. Even without stab, I don't think so. I think I threw this, guys. Unfortunate. This is really unfortunate, especially after winning last week 4-0. I think we got a chance to win this 3-0. My opponent played really well, but I shouldn't say it yet. If somehow we live this, no, there's no way. We just took so much damage from those two things. There's no way we live this. Yeah, Ceruledge is going to fall. That's unfortunate, guys. That's a bit of a rough one. I think I had a chance to win. Without checking the HP bars, I think we might have been able to live 2 Earthquakes under Reflect with Ram 9 with Glastrier. And if we did, I think 2 + 1 Tera Blast probably kill. But that's the way she goes. All right, guys, doing just a little bit of post-game analysis. One thing I want to try and do this season is to really try and improve as I go along. So win or lose, I want to try and look at the mistakes that I made and try and see if I can improve upon them. and see, you know, where I did wrong and, you know, different things, how I could have played better. I think there were a number of things that I could have done better in this fight. I probably didn't need to Tera Electric as soon as I did. I do think I had some reasons to do so, but looking at this play right here, I was at 224 HP before my Glastrier takes that Earthquake. I end up at 113, which means I took 111 damage from that first Earthquake. And I still would have had another turn of Reflect Up. I had one more turn after this, which means, in case you guys don't know, in Pokemon there are things such as basically called damage rolls. And let's show you the hits so I can talk about this. But essentially what it means is there is a range of outcomes in terms of how much damage the move can do. And in that situation right there, we took, like I said, from 224 to 113, that's 111 damage. I went for Rest here, not thinking about the fact that it was Reflect and the screens were going to go away and my damage mitigation was going to disappear. Had I thought about that, I would have just Tera Blasted here. That was a really poor decision on my part. At +1, Electric Tera Blast should do at least half of this guy's health. And if he Earthquakes again, which he's going to, he's locked into it because he's Choice Scarf. I'm sitting at 113 HP. He did 111 the time before. There's probably a chance that it kills me and a chance it doesn't. I probably had a coin flip on this game, whether I could have won or not, had I Tera Blasted instead of Rested. So that was one thing I wanted to just point out, just in terms of the way I played. Like I said, I'm brand new to Draft League. I've played Pokemon for many, many years, but this was a new experience for me. Obviously, week 4, I didn't actually upload for people. That was a very convincing win. I won 4-0, which is really awesome. Started out hot. Unfortunately, losing sucks, man. It feels bad, but I want to try and improve wherever I can. So I just wanted to show there were a few things that I did wrong. One, I think it would have been smarter for me to wait bringing out my Ceruledge until after I'd gotten Indeedee out. The whole point and strategy of my plan was to really utilize Indeedee so that Grimmsnarl couldn't do anything to me. So Indeedee's Psychic Terrain essentially blocks the Prankster ability from Grimmsnarl, which means he couldn't have tricked my Ceruledge's item. If he didn't do that, if I brought out Indeedee and then switched into Ceruledge at full health, kept the Focus Sash, I legitimately think with Stealth Rock up, Ceruledge would have literally just cleaned his entire team. I don't think he could have done anything about it with Psychic Terrain up, +2, I one-shot everything. So I think 2 big mistakes. One, I should have found a way to better get Ceruledge out after getting Psychic Terrain up. I shouldn't have jumped the gun that early. And 2, I really need to take the time to think about things like Reflect and, you know, the hazards on the field, how many turns are left on stuff like that. And it's a learning experience. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to have another 3 fights in the regular season. And depending on how those 3 fights go, hopefully we'll have some playoff matches as well. As it stands right now, we are currently in 10th place. The top 10 actually make the playoffs. So we are still in control of our own destiny to make it. Our team is 2-3. We as a player are 1-1 with a +3 differential. But that really doesn't matter. It's just what the team's record is right now. So this was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll catch you next week. Have a wonderful day.